chaos ensued. Suspensions were handed out with some freedom attached to them, that's for sure. Everybody was getting a little bit of something. As Quillen moving that back, Pizzetta comes into the corner. Farrell tries to move this one, and it comes off the boards, and Dauphin lifts it down to the near corner. Belzile goes after it there. These two guys in the top 10 in the American Hockey League in scoring. The crowd would like a penalty. They're not going to get one, so it seems. Pizzetta comes after this one. Engstrom right there. A little chit-chat between Vincent Arsenault and Michael Pizzetta and Brandon Baddock in the pregame skate. No doubt restaurant recommendations, things of that nature. We're a minute in here as we get their third groupings out. Ryan Turberg out with Matthew Barbolini. That comes off of his stick and catches him, and Hames will pick it up. Fire one, scores! Luke Hames with a swift shot. Puts the Marlies on the board just a minute 15 in to this first period. And this is all of Matthew Barbolini turning over the puck, gets his stick in front of it, and gets it up in the grill. They're able to pick it up, move it back across the line, and Hames sends one. And the Marlies up 1-0 in the very early going. Boy, I don't know if you even got a chance to sit down yet and get the steam off your coffee. Mark Johnstone, Maurice Johnson out with Brandon Baddock. And that one sent side of the goal. Will come back for the icing call. When you take a look at what the Rocket have been able to do, 30, 14, 2, and 2 on the season compared to the Marlies 23, 15, 4, and 3. And they have been busy here at home, 16, 5, 1, and 2. And you can see why. Building's full today. Well, it often is when Toronto comes to town. Out of the pile. Comes back up to the blue line. Villeneuve retrieves it and then sends it up and out of the zone. Baddock will try and chase this one down as it wobbles its way just high of the goal line. Right back up through the middle for Waugh, and over the blue line it comes. A little tip back into the corner. Recovered by the Rocket. Looking for that long shot, and at the line it is tapped back out as Baddock got a piece of that to move it back into the neutral zone. Waugh will retreat with it into his own zone, and then he'll head off. Crowd a little stunned here in the early going here with the quick goal from Hames. Down below the goal line, that one pops up and out as it is sent along the left wing. Barbolini's going to get an assist on that for turning over the puck, his 11th of the season. That's Hames' 8th goal of the season. Over the line it comes. Rafai right back to it. Tips it back. A little home cooking for Marshall Rafai here. Beaconsfield, Quebec. Back across the line. Beau Gru sends it back over for Shaw, but it's in the feet, and he collects it and knocks it back over into the far corner. Nylander chases it down there. Back up high it comes. Over to Shaw. Nylander picks it up on the forehand. Out front, and Gru got the tip on it, but it rose up and into the glass. Back out of the zone it comes. Arsenault tries to move this one. And now catching him on a change. Here's Beau Gru. And that one comes off of Kakinen, who makes the save. And the crowd appreciative here at Place Bell. Racing back. Reinbacher with a long shot. Hammered off the glass. The crowd liked it. Comes to the near side. Pizzetta trying to move this one. Of course, once a Hab and played here for the Rocket as well. High to the blue line it comes. Davidson couldn't do anything with it as Pizzetta got a stick to it. Well, I thought maybe with Pizzetta back in the lineup for the first time since the chaotic episode way back in December. He wasn't in the last one, and now the helmet knocked off of Hames. He's got to come out and go to the bench. His bucket remains on the ice as Villeneuve sends it dancing into the corner. trying to pick it up. Barbolini, Torberg. A step to it and a stick attached. Gets it back. Now he and Barbolini. Little pitch and catch. It comes to the near side for Dauphin. Works itself down the wall, and Blake Smith sends it back the other way. I thought maybe this one might start a little rough, just with the chit-chat that happened in the pregame skate. Will ride its way out to Barbolini. He pitches it down the wall. A little bit like what happened with Springfield last week. A couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, Marshall Rafai got into it with Robertson in Springfield, and they felt he went a little too far, and so right off the hop, Kessie got into it with Rafai, and then, as they say, it all broke loose. 4 minutes, 55 seconds gone here in period number 1. And I thought we might be looking for a little bit of a redo on that kind of occasion right here at Place Bell, but nothing in the early going so far. Shaw comes in for the offensive zone faceoff. One back by the Rocket. Lifted out into center, trying to chase it down. Henry Thrun squeezes his man off the puck, and now Thrun waits on it. Good patient move there as he moves it along for Nylander. Tipped up and out. Shaw right back the other way. And Waugh is going to get a hooking penalty here to start things out for the Rocket. The Marlies are going to go on the power play. Marlies power play 17.39%, but probably more accurate in the world of what have you done for me lately. 10 for 35 in their last 10 games. .6%. Shaw trying to get back to that one. This one will take a ride though. They'll pick it up. Henry Thrun out. Letary Boyd out. Injured. And power play looking just a little bit different. Here's Shaw tracking it down and then trying to move it along for Quillen. And so if you're counting up who's on the power play here, it is Shaw, Grew, Torberg, Quillen, and Henry Thrun. Challenge there by Owen Beck. Thrun moves it down the right wing. Grew, far side. Shaw almost looked like he was going to let that go. And now it is picked up, centered out, and it works its way to the blue line as Grew sends it right back over for Jacob Quillen. Hard back to Grew. Over to Thrun. He'll get it back. Grew deep for Shaw, and up high it comes, and just a broken stick here for Thrun, and a shorthanded chance back the other way as Quillen comes back, and the crowd wanted a penalty here and voiced their displeasure. An orchestra of disgruntled goats, to be sure. 40 seconds left as the second unit steps out. William Villeneuve in charge of that one. Hames retrieves it. Puck not quite following the instruction manual as Hames tries to come back to this one. Chadwick will pick it up here. Nylander eases it up to Boreavalis, who's wearing the full fishbowl. Lifted up and out. Hames takes an extra shot. 7 minutes gone and a little change. Nylander tried to lift one to the goal. Comes back up. Condotta moves it back out for Del Gaizo, and Engstrom races away with it as we're back to 5-on-5. Waugh sends one wide, and back out into the neutral zone it comes. Del Gaizo gets to the red line and sends it right back in as Mermis collects it. And now picked up below the goal line, winding his way out to the dot and then knocked away. Just a little too much dipsy and not enough doodle there for Sammy Blais. Rides the rail and Blais tries to put it back out front. Akhtaimov got a little touch on that one. I don't think they're going to call that a shot on goal necessarily, as Laval has yet to register one. There's only been 2 here from Toronto. Back across the line. Baddock trying to force his way back in as Villeneuve gets a long shot away, and it comes off of a body out front and goes wide. Dauphin challenged by Mark Johnstone. Villeneuve trying to move that one out. Belzile makes a nice little play to keep it in and then moves it back up. Long shot there as some traffic out front, but the puck off the mark. Picked up by Blake Smith. Tipped up and out. Belzile and back onto his backhand and then moved it back to his defenseman. Sean Farrell across the line with Dauphin heading in toward the goal. This one dances to the side of the goal and goes wide. Back up to the blue line. Thorpe sends one in. That one comes off the pad of Akhtiamov. And now the shots are coming and the hits are 2. Arsenault down into the corner. Chadwick trying to hold him off. They battle for the puck. Florian Jacki. He was one of the suspended bodies. Long one lifted into the glass. Pezzetta comes back to it. Takes a bit of a wobble as Arsenault plays it right back in. Turning on it, Thorpe down toward the goal. That one knocked off wide. Pezzetta trying to collect it and get a little help here from Villeneuve in the process. Back up high it comes. Some pressure here, and Akhtiamov gets the glove on it and gets the whistle. An extended period of no whistle. Finally shows up. 10:22 left to go. The Marlies up 1-0 as they show the Arsenault hit on the big screen, and the crowd shows some appreciation. We'll be back.
Pour ceux qui viennent de se joindre à nous, bon après-midi et bienvenue à ce match coup de cœur présenté par Nissan contre les Marlies de Toronto, nos rivaux. Maya, t'es en forme?
Oh que oui, content d'être là.
Maya, c'est la Saint-Valentin. Aujourd'hui, on a un gros match très chargé et justement, je veux vous inviter à passer à la section 106. Aujourd'hui, il y a le photo booth Nissan. Vous pourrez prendre une belle photo. Et évidemment, il y a le Nissan Kicks qui est là. Et en plus de tout ça, il y a un code QR que vous pouvez scanner pour courir la chance de remporter une paire de billets pour un match de hockey ainsi qu'une veste Varsity. Alors, scannez le code QR à la section 106. Maya, qu'est-ce qui se passe dans les coursives?
Bien là, vous avez remarqué, on a un bingo qui est déjà entamé. Il n'est pas trop tard pour participer. Vous allez pouvoir récupérer votre carte à la section 113 ou 216. On va dévoiler des noms là, au courant du match, donc c'est important de rester à l'affût. Il y a des prix qui sont en jeu, donc vous allez pouvoir remporter un ensemble cadeau du Rocket. Section 113 maintenant. Venez vous mesurer au lancer du cœur. Un de nos gagnants qui va obtenir un chandail autographié par l'équipe. Et toujours à la section 113, vous allez voir un bol avec des bonbons, des petits cœurs à la cannelle. Il va falloir deviner le nombre de bonbons qu'il y a à l'intérieur. Et le gagnant va se mériter une paire de billets ainsi que des items autographiés du Rocket. Bonne chance!
Maya, je suis très excité. C'est un gros match. Les partisans, on a besoin de vous. On tente de mettre la main sur une 7e.
Wow. Matt Benning is day-to-day. Travis Boyd, lower body, long-term. Vinny Lettieri, day-to-day. Cedric Paré, week-to-week. Cade Weber, day-to-day. And almost literally no point. They're just body injuries, all of them. Upper body, lower body. If you're not going to get specific, then don't get specific at all. You're injured. You're not in this thing, and that's all there is to it. That's a fair group of folks that put the puck in the net and towards it and help out. It's Lettieri, not in this lineup here today. Big missing piece. They've been a quality line together. As Rafai moves it back to Mermis. Both Bogru, Hames stays on side. He's got Turberg out there to center it to, but he didn't get it to him. Bogru, Logan Shaw, Vinny Lettieri. When things are going right, you hate being out of the lineup. Halfway through this first period and 15 seconds more. Marlies holding on to a 1-0 lead created by Luke Hames at 1:15. Sammy Blake tied up with Noah Chadwick. And now lifted down into the corner by Bo Groot. Del Gaizo collects it, looks left. Trudeau, long pass ahead. And Davidson did not get a touch on that. It's going to come all the way back on the free ride. Matthew Bartolini, as I say, got the assist on that one. Marlies coming into this one with a road record of 12-9-3-1. They got a power play in this first period, but they get this one back up to the blue line. Chadwick off a foot into the corner. We're unable to convert on it, and fewest power play opportunities for the Marlies in this North Division. Bo Groot picks it up off the wall, gets it back up. Chadwick all the way back around. It gets by Logan Shaw, is picked up on the half boards. Groot, this one just walks its way wide of the mark. Condota trying to move it. Nylander, nice little move, and Groot knocked down by Del Gaizo at the blue line. Just caught him stepping there, and the crowd liked it. Johnstone pointing out some traffic signals. Dauphin all the way back in. Akhtaimov plays this one high on the edge. Kept in on a backhand and knocked back to the wall by Baddock. He just eases it along for Johnstone, and Johnson sends it down deep. Over the far side, Farrell moves it back out. Belzile finds Engstrom, and he leads it down deep. Akhtaimov able to corral that, move it along, up along the near side. Engstrom back out. Long shot there, but not a lot on it. And Akhtaimov continues it back into action. Drop back for Johnson. He lets one fly. Round behind for John Stone. Picked up. Belzile moves this along for Dauphin. What a year he is having. In fact, what 2 years he has had. A third of his points that he has collected in the American Hockey League over his almost 500 games have come in the last 2 seasons. Right back in and down deep. Kakkonen plays this one. And that one popped up and over the snowbank. 7:18 left to go here in period 1. Marlies up 1-0 on Laval.
Et le Rocket de Laval souhaite la bienvenue à tous nos groupes présents aujourd'hui. Merci d'être là, les amis. On vous souhaite un excellent match.
Où est ton papa? Dis-moi où est ton papa? Sans même devoir lui parler, il sait ce qui ne va pas. Ah sacré papa, dis-moi où es-tu caché? Ça doit faire au moins 1000 fois que j'ai compté mes doigts.
Et le Rocket souhaite également la bienvenue à toute la gang du Collège Jean de la Menace. C'est un échange étudiant entre le Québec et la Belgique. Merci d'être là, les amis. Bon match!
The shovel crew has gotten better here in Laval. I feel like they started off with like one of those guys with an aluminum shovel that you'd use to clear off your steps, and have now fully morphed into like a proper shovel crew, like NHL level. Some applause should go to that. Well, maybe not applause, but a silent nod of job well done. It's all about job well done for management now, as the AHL All-Star break also starts to bring on the next part of the season. And you want to get all the pieces in place that you possibly can at the NHL level and make your run for whatever you hope to run to, and all sorts of risks and rewards to be had there. Hopefully you're not the risk guys who go out and do the same thing that they've done with airplane windows. like the people who made airplane windows, fantastic job. But then somebody decided to fool around with the seats in the middle, and now the airplane windows don't line up with the seats very much anymore. How many airplanes I've been on in the last year where like I'm sitting right, like the window is just in an uncomfortable spot behind me, and the next window is just like in the middle of the seat in front of me. Do they not talk, the two people who handle those things? Back up at the blue line. Mermis, that one, blast there, goes wide. Rafai moves it back over. Mermis gets it back to Rafai. He's got some real estate, but it's off the pads and back out. Tapped down by Pizzetti, brings it back in. Sees some attention from Arsenal. Quillen right back to it. Ballas. There was some talk that the Marlies might be, that one comes up and way up over the snowbank. That may have found itself into open water. Ballas gets back and forth. Now Arsenal comes over to put his voice into the conversation against Pizzetta. Michael Pizzetta unfazed, I would think. In this, I have watched a fair bit of his career, both in this league and beyond. He plays with a level of fearlessness. 6:46 left to go here in period one. I remember one night I was at Rich Clune, I think, right here actually, down to my right. There's Trudeau. It wasn't a Valentine's Day. If you're out there celebrating Valentine's Day by listening to the Toronto Marlies broadcast, well, I'm not saying you. Here's Hames back across the line in a great spot, trying to drag it down toward the goal. Not saying you could add a better gift, but I appreciate that I'm a part of your Valentine's Day. Chadwick. Barbolini comes back up, and Hames tosses it out. Here's Torberg with some room to move. Cuts in on the backhand, but he sends it high into the glass. Trudeau, round behind it comes. Well, there's a lot of people complaining about a lot of things in air travel, but those windows and the seats. I'm telling you. Blake Smith runs over Sammy Blais there. The crowd has got themselves worked into the wave. It is 1984 here in Laval, I guess. This one will come all the way back on the icing call. 5:38 left to go in the first. That'll leave on the group that has been on. Shaw, broken stick, needs a new one. Comes over to the bench, gets one, and then waits just a step longer. Gets some word from the bench of the Rocket about the complaint about his stick being in half. I suppose it was, you know, these things happen. You're skating around, suddenly your stick's in half. You don't know. Could have been anything. Didn't have to be a slash. Could have been just, you know, bad manufacturing. In the doubtful category. 5:38. Shaw lifts it up and out. Grew tracks it down and recognized he didn't have a lot of support there. And now Shaw sends it down deep. And they don't like how that one got done. And so they hand out the information. And up the right wing they go. Skipping down deep. Back to Amoff. Plays it along for Villeneuve. And now Shaw looks cross ice. A sharp one past Nylander. This one is coming all the way back. I don't like how some folks got off the ice before that happened. And so now they got 7 players out there. That also is probably not the ideal situation that they're looking for. But everyone takes their time again. 5:08 left to go in the first period. Shaw and Farrell. Little disagreement about where their sticks might land and should land on a face-off. And now Belzile wants information from the linesman, the referee, anybody. And anyway, gave everybody a fair bit of time to think things over. Picked up by Villeneuve. It'll work its way back onto his stick. They try to jam it back up and out. And it is just eased down the ice, and they'll be able to get in a change here. Nylander stays on. Dauphin moves it along for Bisson. Across the line it comes. Eased up for John Stone, and then he is knocked down on the play. And Reinbacher, out front it comes. Nice little move for Reese Johnson, who parked himself out front to give himself a good chance. Mermis, John Stone, a little toss there. Baddock tried to come after it. Now Johnson up high at the blue line for Marshall Rafai. Left back for Mermis, and he lifts one to the goal that's into the glass. Little backhander out front. Great little thought process there from Marshall Rafai. Reinbacher picks it up and moves it along for Dauphin. We'll see when he and Arthur Kaliev are battling it out atop the American Hockey League. Kaliev with the Belleville Senators. In an odd scheduling move. Marlies won't see the Senators again this year, which seems odd. Back across the line over the 10 games they've already played. This one doesn't get down toward the goal. Pizzetta gets it back to the blue line. Quillen was looking for it on the near side. Jakai will pick it up along the boards and send it cross ice. Just a step maybe beyond Thorpe. As it comes back up, Chadwick will move it ahead. It'll come back into center. Arsenault turns it around as he waits for everyone to get back on side. A little tip back up for Del Gaiso. It rolls over his stick and back out into center. Less than 3 minutes to go here. I'll share with you at the end of the period some local craziness that just interesting. A little tap back up to the blue line. Ends up with Barbolini. Luke Hames' goal, the only one in this one, in this opening frame. Hames comes after it now. Beck moves it right back up and out, looking for a return pass. It'll come high off the glass. Villeneuve gives him a shove, and that one finally is interference. It seemed like there were three very similar situations that arrived in this game, much like that in the last 3 minutes, that were not called. And I think, you kind of get the impression, if you're William Villeneuve, like, if that's not going to get called, then I'm going to do it too. Except this time it was called. So the team with the highest power play opportunities in the North Division will get another one here in this first period when we return.
Êtes-vous fait pour rouler ensemble, présenté par Nissan? On va jouer avec nos candidats qui sont ici. Un couple depuis les 3 dernières années. On a Guy et Kat. Vous avez des beaux chandails en passant. Donc là, c'est simple. Je vais vous poser des questions. Vous allez être dos à dos et vous allez devoir y répondre. Qui est plus susceptible de... On va voir si vous connaissez bien dans votre couple. OK? Alors, on se met de dos à dos. On se met dos à dos. OK. On s'en va voir la première question. Qui se perd le plus souvent sans GPS? On lève toi ou moi? Oh! C'est bon, on est d'accord. On a la même réponse. C'est parfait. On poursuit. Qui chante le plus fort?
All right, I'll get to it now because we got a second. There's a kid here who thinks he's invented something. And you can tell because he's quite proud of it. He had his hockey jersey on backward and his hoodie on backward, sticking out of his hockey jersey. And he's filled his his hoodie, kangaroo jacket, bunny hug, I don't know. But we're calling it a hoodie now. I don't know why, but because kangaroo jacket was a great name for it. But so was bunny hug. But nonetheless, he's put popcorn in the hood. And like, you could just tell by the way he's carrying himself that he thinks he's invented that. And I will tell you that 8-year-old Todd Crocker, I did not invent it either, but that's how old that trick is. At least. I don't really remember seeing kangaroo jackets, whatever, hoodies prior to that. I think they came along in the 70s. I'm not sure. Power play opportunity here for Laval. 20.9% on the power play. That is about as good as you can ask. If you get more than that, it is all bonus. They'll begin from their own end here as Dauphin moves it along. Farrell just steps across the blue line and then gets it back up high. Farrell gets it back. Belzile. Boy, he has a lane to shoot there, but he had nobody out front to take away the eyes of the goaltender, Akhtiamov. That one out front, tapped away, and now crashing in on Akhtiamov and cleared all the way down the ice. Now, Akhtiamov, as I said, played all the games, all for the North Division. Feeding it back in just a little bit beyond Sammy Blais. Picked up and cleared away again. Represented the North as Fowler found himself injured. Played last night, but couldn't go in the All-Star competition or the games. And so North Division relied on Artur Akhtiamov. Back, works his way out through the middle. Scott Waugh over there, tries to feed it back along. A little tap for Henry Thrun, who is knocked down, and they'll race to the corner where Torberg will send it saucering back the other way. I had to share that with you. Just so pleased with himself. Waugh, there might even be a picture of kids doing that a long time ago. Here's Reese Johnson. Hangs up, drops it back. Out front, and Johnson very nearly on a nice little give-go with Rafai, and now Bo Group. Hermes all the way around for Johnson. We're back to 5-on-5. Marlies kill off that attempt. PK of the Marlies in the last 10 games is 84.4%. Talk about going in the right direction. Chadwick all the way back. And that'll do it. 20 minutes in the books here at Place Bell as the Toronto Marlies have themselves a 1-0 lead that came early off the stick of Luke Hames. 1:15 after Matthew Barbolini forced a turnover. It climbed up his stick and then hit him right in the chest. It dropped in front of him, and Luke Hames picked it up, strolled in, and put it past Capo Kakinen. And that is where we sit after 20 minutes of play. Both teams were unsuccessful on the power play. And we will be back in less than 18 minutes. So just taking a look here down at the referee who seemed to be involved in something there. And John Gruden was having a look over, a little chat from distance, but I don't think it was anything necessarily game related, so it looked like. I think there's a penalty at the end of this one to add into the mix, but if there is, we'll track it down for you, see what we can get involved in. All right, we'll be back in less than 18 minutes. The Toronto Marlies up 1-0 on the Rocket de Laval.
Performance de patinage artistique.
Broadway, baby. They love you. Thank you. Thank you. the show. They're gonna have to get back to you. Hey, Mr. Producer. I'm talking to you, sir.
Now we have a brand new song for you.
I am just a Broadway baby, walking off my tired feet, pounding 42nd Street to be in a show. Oh,
Broadway, baby. Learning how to sing and dance. Waiting for that one big chance to be in a show.
oh, at my tiny flat, there's just my cat, a bed and a chair. Still, I'll stick it till I'm on a bill.
All over Times Square.
Une bonne main d'applaudissements pour les suprêmes juvéniles. Merci beaucoup, bravo! C'est tellement gênant. Message important pour les boys. J'ai une merveilleuse Ludivine qui est venue me voir un peu plus tôt aujourd'hui. Une belle femme dans la mi-vingtaine, une femme carriériste. Elle est prête à rencontrer son homme charmant aujourd'hui. J'ai besoin d'un gars dans la mi-vingtaine, quelqu'un qui est confiant, là. Venez nous voir ici à la section 103. Hey, j'ai été à Occupation Double puis j'ai gagné. T'es capable de venir ici au Rocket puis venez faire une date. Arrêtez de niaiser les boys. Venez-vous-en, venez me voir à la section 103. On a besoin de vous. Let's go.
Ton amour a changé ma vie. Sans toi, je n'étais plus rien. Mais le jour où mes yeux ont rencontré tes yeux, mon cœur est tombé amoureux. Ton amour a changé ma vie.
Salut à tous les partisans du Rocket de Laval, ici Tony Marinaro à SIC Media. On est fiers d'être partenaire pour les matchs du Rocket de Laval, tous les matchs à la maison avec Cédric Blondin à la description et Vincent Dumy à l'analyse. Donc, vous pouvez nous écouter, vous pouvez regarder le SIC Podcast avec moi en français à 10h le matin du lundi au vendredi et à 10h le soir du lundi au vendredi soir. Je suis Marinaro, Go Rocket!
Votre maison est plus connectée que vous le croyez? Vous voulez transformer votre maison en beau petit café branché? Vous voulez impressionner votre amateur de sport préféré? Ça vous prend vraiment le Wi-Fi capable d'en prendre. Passez au Wi-Fi 7 avec l'Internet le plus rapide au pays, Belle Pure Fibre.
Cette saison, votre calendrier hockey va être bien rempli. RDS domine la patinoire avec la plus grande offre hockey au Québec. La glace, c'est notre territoire. RDS, l'offensive hockey au Québec. l'appli Mise au jeu plus. Fait pour les fans, par des fans. Avec des paris locaux qui font vibrer le Québec. Peu importe ton sport et peu importe ton équipe, tout se joue ici.
Soyez prudents sur la route aujourd'hui. Grosse tempête attendue sur une bonne partie de la province.
Maîtrisez toutes les conditions à bord du Nissan Kicks.
Shot! Score! Shot save! Oh my goodness! What a save! Shoots and he scores! Nice shot! Score! Oh, ho, ho! What a beauty!
Si vous me cherchez, je suis ailleurs. Je suis loin, 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 loin de vous. Oubliez-moi. Si vous me cherchez, je suis ailleurs. Je suis loin, 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 loin de vous.
On m'a toujours dit que le hockey, c'est mieux quand t'es sur place. La première fois que je suis rentrée dans l'aréna du Rocket, j'ai tout de suite compris pourquoi. Dès qu'on arrive à la place Belle, tout change. L'énergie, la foule, les joueurs. Mais le plus cool, c'est quand je me retourne et que je vois ma famille vivre tout ça avec moi. C'est là que je me dis, ouais, le hockey, c'est vraiment mieux quand on est là pour de vrai.
Chers partisans, nous vous demandons de bien vouloir respecter les règles suivantes pour que tous puissent pleinement apprécier le match. Fans, please respect the following rules so we can all enjoy the game. La rondelle peut quitter la surface de jeu à tout moment. Demeurez vigilant. Pucks can leave the playing surface at any time. Stay alert. Nous vous demandons de ne pas changer de siège même si certains semblent inoccupés. Veuillez demeurer au siège indiqué sur votre billet. We ask you not to change seats or move to an open seat. Please remain at the seat indicated on your ticket. Nous vous demandons d'utiliser un langage respectueux en tout temps envers le personnel et les autres partisans. We ask that you please use respectful language when speaking with other fans and Place Belle staff. Si vous avez besoin d'aide, contactez un membre du service à la clientèle. If you need any help, please contact any of our client service staff. Enjoy the game. Bon match!
I never thought that I would find a way out. I never thought I'd hear my heartbeat so loud. I can't believe there's something left in my chest anymore. But you got me in love again. I used to think that I was made out of stone. I
A solitary Nick Hornby walks across the ice here at Glass Bell, followed by Bree Donaldson. And they're so far apart they look mad at each other. They're not, but I don't think Bree Donaldson has mad in her, but I could be wrong. I've just never experienced it. And here comes the rest of the crew. Usually they're all kind of in a bunch, like geese protecting each other. But geese don't do that. I don't know. So I'll tell you what they do. They protect you against everything else. You get close to a Canada goose, they are not a friendly bit of business. I'm doing a little research earlier today. Got about 3 minutes before the period starts. For my podcast, Crocktail Hour, talking about Valentine's Day. And I don't know if I'm going to drop this in there or not, but I didn't realize there was more than one St. Valentine. It's a bunch of people. There's Valentine's folk everywhere. And it's all, the ones that they honor on Valentine's Day are Valentine of Rome, who I guess it would be like, you know, Latin Valentinius the Great or something like that, or of Roma, or whatever it is. And then Valentine of Terni. So that's pretty good. And there's a couple other ones. There's all sorts of them. There's a last name. Well, it still is a last name. But I didn't know that. I thought there was like St. Patrick, you know? Like there's one St. Patrick. You'd have to think that there was only one St. Valentine, but no, it's not the case. St. Valentine's Day. So there you go. A little something. Those are the kind of things we talk about on Crocktail Hour. But the lights have come up. The crowd is still here. When the lights go down, it does feel like the place is empty in the intermission. They keep it very dark in here to, I guess, keep things. Everybody feels a little bit more calm, maybe in the twilight of the rink. I'm not sure. All right, we're about ready to go here. The first period. As you may know, if you were tuning in, Luke Hames, 115, his 8th of the season. Luke Hames on a bit of a run here, isn't he? 3 games in a row. He's got himself some goals. He's put up some goals here since, actually, when you look at what he's done since the turn of the calendar year, he has picked up his level of input as far as points are concerned. And you know, early on in the season, we talked to Luke Hames and said, you know, how do you feel you're coming along? He says, I feel like the points will come when they come, and wasn't worried about it. He knew he was playing well, and he was playing well enough to be in the lineup every night. And you had to appreciate that. And I think he is moving along exactly how a player does move along in the American Hockey League. They do get to that first few months of play, and they find out a little bit more and a little bit. Getting some hand signals here from some folks a couple of rows in front of me. I don't know what they want me to do, but see, some people are great mimes. They have great mind game, but other people are terrible at it. Oh, I see what it is. They're standing up and they're saying, well, you know, we're probably not in your way. They are. Here's Bo Grew in close and gets one off on the goaltender. And Nylander has got knocked away, and he sends it right back up ice. Grew brings it across the line. Shaw drags it into the middle and then could not quite hang on to that puck. Right back across the line they come. Mermis along for Grew. He couldn't quite reel that one back in. Over the line they come again and try to move it down along for Sammy Blais, and it is Blais who puts it back out into neutral territory. Ahead for Pezzetta. Takes a bit of a shot. Boy, Vallis had a step there. If he could have convince the puck to come along with him. Vallis, cross ice. Quillen reaching for that one. Knocks it away and sends it down toward the goaltender, Capo Kakinen. Originally a Minnesota draft pick. Up the right side. Farrell. Out front it comes. Great centering opportunity, but knocked away, and the Marlies escape out of their own zone as Quillen goes cross ice, finding Blake Smith. And kind of got away from his stick. Tried to move it back up. And they come trying to split the D through the middle with Bisson, and a little backhander. It tickles into the crease, and the tune is cut short there by Akhtemov. That's 3 games in a row for Luke Haynes with a goal. But just prior to that, he had a bit of a run there where he couldn't buy himself an opportunity. It looked like he'd scored a couple, but then they weren't given to him ultimately. And has really put together a nice little stretch of points here. Down towards the goal, pops out the other side. And Barbolini moving it back out for Turberg. He spreads out wide right and pushes it back to the blue line. Chadwick finds a step there for Hames, and now Chadwick down toward the goal. Stick in the way before it reaches its intended destination. Back round behind. It comes up and out into center ice. Noah Chadwick. Everybody coming in off the break. Always interesting to hear all the stories of where people go and what they do. Here they come back in. Shot scooped up by Akhtemov. He hangs on to that one. It was a good, proper break this year. And lots of times you have to be at the All-Star game Sunday, Monday, and then you get a break. But they decided this year that the break would be, or the game would be the Tuesday, Wednesday. And that gave you a couple of days to get there. And now with the league spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of hockey, it's tough to get guys there like overnight, and that was becoming a bit of a problem, that's for sure. Baddock trying to chase this one down into the corner. Del Gaizo plays it up the boards. But it also allowed everybody who did not go to the All-Star game a great chance to go a little further afield, perhaps. You talk about spanning the globe. And everybody either goes home or maybe went south or whatever it happens to be, and you get in a proper rest. And I got to tell you, it's necessary at this time of year. Anybody who ever pops away on a vacation in the middle of February, you know, you come back, you're feeling great. Well, except for the 420 email that you have sitting in your inbox. Leave it behind, just delete them. I mean, honestly. Tapped up along to the blue line. Blake Smith takes a shot, makes the play. Del Gaizo comes cross ice. Arsenault finding a step here for Jackeye. He sends one high into the glass as well. And the league gets better, too, at this point in the season. Everybody ramps up their play, and it's not just the urgency of finding a playoff spot. Everybody starts to watch that a little bit closer, but also on the agenda is there's guys that know they've been around this league a while, and they know now's the time you got to bring a little bit more. You got to play a little sharper. You got to be better. This league becomes increasingly difficult throughout the season. Side of the goal. Akhtemov trying to stop this one, spreads out, and it comes to the near side as Grew picks it up and leads it ahead. Nylander trying to reach for this one. Grew picks it up, feeding it in through the middle, past Shaw and into the corner. Tap back. Shaw trying to knock that one down. Always great to hear from Scott Howson, the president of the league, too. Nylander, about where the league sits on a whole bunch of different situations it's going through. Nylander back over to Grew and knocked off his stick. Down he goes, and they've got 5 Rocket players loaded up deep in the corner there, and that one finds its way to Belzile. Murmas steals it back. And now Grew tried to play it right back in. The Marlies were making a change here anyway. 5 minutes gone here in period number 2. Rocket last night coming up with a win against the Hershey Bears 6-1, their second game of the weekend. They come back from the All-Star break and get 3 games in 4 days. As they'll play Monday at Scotiabank, 2 o'clock start against the Marlies. Handy because it's a home game for Toronto. Back out front, Dauphin. You could not have given it to a guy who has a hotter hand right now than Laurent Dauphin. Michar. Cross ice. Reeling it in and trying to get a shot away is Clernam. He could not. And back into the corner. Clermont. Good movement here from the Rocket. Dauphin parks himself out front, battling Rafai. It just drops out front and then is cleared back out. Good weight on it there from Pizzetta. And now Dauphin and Rafai. And Dauphin saw the door open at the Rocket bench. Chopped back out into center. And nearly caught Rafai unable to get off the ice and make a change for a defensive partner. They nearly caught him on it. Bounces in towards Aktiemov. He hangs on, and now Beck takes a bit of a shot there. Blake Smith out. Boy, was that a wild one a couple of weeks back from that Springfield game. All of a sudden, a couple of fights break out, and then Blake Smith steps out, and he got an aggressor penalty. Of all things that I had trouble figuring out in that one is that ended up being the aggressor penalty. Okay. Luke Hames in the circle. That's another area where Hames has improved. And he wins that one as Waugh steps back toward the goals. Spreading out was Aktiemov. He got his mitt on it and hangs on. And now Turberg in a disagreement as well. That was a great little move to the goal, but Aktiemov comes up with the save, and then he does not give much in the way of a rebound. He's got his stick on top of it, I think. Get in a little close here and spreads out and keeps it under him. We'll be back.
Les partisans, c'est l'heure de jouer à la super course Roman édition Saint-Valentin. Je suis très excité, c'est un de mes jeux favoris. Choisissez votre véhicule à l'écran, celui qui vous donne le plus d'amour aujourd'hui. Et c'est parti! Dans 3, 2, 1, et qui va remporter cette course? Et évidemment, c'est très serré dès le début. Et là, c'est la voiture rouge qui prend de l'avance. Le food truck, lui, qui prend une légère avance. Le camion de livraison, lui, n'a pas dit son dernier mot. Le camion de livraison, toujours là, se fait arrêter par une sandwich, un panini. Et la petite mobilette par une saucisse. Et là, c'est le food truck qui mène. Le food truck, toujours en avance. Et la voiture rouge, elle revient derrière. Qui remportera la course? Oh! Oh! C'est la voiture! Félicitations à tous.
I would not have guessed that a sponsor could lose to just a no-name red car, but it did. Anyway, to get back to the whole idea of the lining up the airplane seats with the windows and them not doing it anymore, seemingly. That's the task in front of you if you're running anything, hockey team included. You know don't want to make changes just for the sake of making changes. You want to make changes that actually are effective changes if you can find a way to do that. The last thing you want to end up with is airplane seats that don't line up with the windows. I don't want to point out anybody not doing a very good job in the airline seating arrangement situation, but you're not doing a very good job. Back up Engstrom over the far side. This one down toward the goal, well wide of the mark, but it got the crowd interested. And Barbolini kicks that one back out, past Turberg, however, and into the zone it comes again as Chadwick comes back to it. Richard kicks it along. Good stick on it from Henry Thrun, and he's able to get it right back out. Noah Chadwick works back the other way, and he picks it up. He's got room to move, and a little backhander over for Barbolini. Didn't connect to him where it needed to. And now Barbolini buries his man in the corner. And he'll come back the other way. Well, the one thing I did notice, here's Johnstone. He's got to wait for Johnson to get out of the zone, and now he fires it back in. Flying into that one, caught up with the screen, but they continue to play on. Over the far side it comes. Rafai picks it up here, but it's on his backhand. Trying to wrap it around was Johnstone, and it is played back out into center. Back over the line it comes. Would have been offside. Mermis handles it, moves it up the left side. Paddock got a touch on it. The crowd thought it was offside. Actually, Mermis and Arsenault perhaps behind the play, and then Thorpe and Johnstone involved, and Mermis is being held back on this one. I think there's a penalty coming up here to Dakota Mermis. Yeah, indeed. Second power play opportunity for the Rocket. I just can't quite see the folks standing in front of me that were giving me mime directions are still standing. Nope, it is a power play. It's a trip as Arsenault went into the boards, and Dakota Mermis goes to the box for 2 minutes or less. Belzile right back up to the blue line. Dauphin down toward the goal, punched away by Akhtiamov. And this one comes back out ahead for Quillen. He just couldn't pick that up on his backhand, and Shaw comes right back to it. Belzile cross ice. Thrun just taps it back the other way. Quillen comes off. Johnstone comes on. Shaw rolls back around to the bench, and Ryan Turberg steps on. Got a chance to play a little defense in that Springfield game. Turberg did. Yeah, so I had 3 defensemen in the box. And Turberg's going to hang on to this one, and then tried to step around. Got a little pull, and comes back out into center. Reinbacher drops it back. Challenged by Johnstone. Belzile at the line. They're able to keep that in. Indeed, they are. Chadwick leans into it and sends it the rest of the way. Reinbacher picks it up here. Second unit out. Beck. Johnson chasing up the play here as Beck sends it in toward the goal. Lifted up and right back out. Goaltender doing the job himself. Given away, Johnson with the shot, and that one looking for a shorthanded goal. Reese Johnson, but Kakinen covers up his mistake by making the save and sending it over the fence. Well, the shots on goal are amazingly low here at the moment. They are 7-5 favoring Laval. I would not necessarily have said that. Just based on the opportunities, but indeed, here we are. The chronometers. Shot into the corner. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure that's what they do. I think they're the timekeepers, actually. But one of the off-ice officials is working on it. Back across the line, this one comes. Kluerman out front. Boy, is a good-looking centering pass. That one blocked. Bo Grew caught that one hard. He's back to his feet and steps back into the play. And we're back to 5-on-5, and that one is up and in the neighbor's yard. And Jakai gets in close on the goaltender. Trying to stir up Marshall Rafai as well with 9:45 left to go in this second period. We're halfway in to this hockey game on a Saturday afternoon in Laval.
Le Rocket souhaite la bienvenue à Sylvain Tourangeau, membre de la communauté du Rocket depuis 2022. Merci pour votre fidélité. Joyeux Saint-Valentin, bon match! Et c'est maintenant l'heure de l'escouade Rocket! Je veux voir tout le monde debout. Come on, c'est la Saint-Valentin! On veut voir les couples debout. Vous êtes célibataires, on veut de l'amour! On veut des t-shirts gratuits, come on!
I must admit, I can't explain any of these thoughts racing through my brain. It's true. The baby, I'm howling for you.
The fly in the ointment, of course, with the hoodie feeding basket in front of you when you have it on backwards is when an exciting thing happens, right? That's pretty predictable. You jump up, next thing you know, you got popcorn all stuck to your face. Or, you know, your friends come along and decide to pull the hoodie up. And next thing you know, you've got popcorn in your hair. Either way, there's a reason why it didn't become popular. And the young fella down here exhibited that on the last play. Jumped up, popcorn everywhere. Ames. It's one of the great all-time tricks, though, somebody wearing a hoodie. Put popcorn in it when they're wearing it the right way. We'll tap back out into center. Thorpe, long pass. Villeneuve catches up to Jakai, who brings it a little deeper. Condotta, tip back along the wall, reaching for it. Luke Hames, kick back to it, and it finds its way loose. The crowd will like that as the official. A little backwards fall. Kluerman steps off the wall, off the crossbar, ever so close. As Hames trying to track it down, and finally it is sent out of the zone by Jakai himself. Going to make a couple of changes here. Pizzetta in after it, long pass. Jakai steps across the red line and then enters the Toronto zone. He's got Dauphin with him. He works his way to the goal, comes in and slams against the side of the net. Uncomfortable looking, but he's back on his feet. Did I get that sorted out? That puck actually looked like, I'm going to follow the puck on this. As Kluerman comes in, there's the shot. Here it is. Back up it comes. Oh, it never does go in. I thought maybe it had popped across the line, and there was a thought from some of the folks over on the bench of the Rocket de Laval that perhaps there should be a case to be made for that. There wasn't. There isn't. Mermis knocks it back, and now Barbolini is out here. They take a look over for Bo Grew. He steps onto the ice. Barbolini comes off. Nylander trying to chase it down. Trudeau right back from behind the goal. Ahead for Dauphin. Cross ice. Over the line it comes, and Bo Grew will pick it up. Can't argue with the year he has had here in Toronto. Rafai lifts one way up. Friendly Giant level, picked up by Shaw, cross ice, and down on an off speed from Nylander. Back they come, Belzile. That one got the crowd to move over there as it popped up over the snowbank with 7:49 left to go here in period number 2. Well, Marlies in this situation find themselves 1-1-1 against Laval this season. Strangely enough, Akhtiamov has not played in any of those games. Hildeby and Peksa have done the work against Laval, and of course the fact that they've only played 3 of the games that they're playing against them this year. 2 of them coming this weekend. You'll see a couple more in a couple of weeks. Quillen, Chadwick pushes it up along the boards, trying to catch up to this one as he steps around his man and then picks up the puck, and Quillen doing a great job and getting it along to Michael Pezzetta. He gets it on his backhand. Last time we were here, talking about Michael Pezzetta helping out a lot of these guys' first NHL goals. He's got an assist. He was assist on Belzile's first goal. Oldest Hab in the ever to score his first goal. Outside of just one. Here's Quillen. Johnson, cross ice, picked up. Villeneuve to the goal. Out front, puck loose. Made some contact with the goaltender. No whistle on the play. Corman steps back across the blue line. Now a little backhander off the pads. What a save! And Waugh diving on Akhtiamov. And Artie Akhtiamov comes up with a quality save as he gets the pad down, keeps it in front. Let's take another look. Nice little backhander, and then it got redirected off Smith's skate. That's a tricky looking one, but Akhtiamov comes up with the save. Waugh dove in after it, rugby scrum style, but possibly the only other sport that you feel that the players are as tough as hockey players. John Stone out of the circle, shaking his head. Jack Young, Mike Sullivan, the referees today, set up top of the program. Paddock trying to keep a stick on that. Over the far side and across the line. Mermis plays it along. Johnson up, and Paddock trying to catch up to it. Johnstone got a stick on it, knocked it loose, and now he's back the other way with Paddock 2-on-1. Brendan Paddock with a shot that clinks off the post. A little tap out front, and another one as Reese Johnson trying to enter into the equation. Stick chopped out of his hand. And now a little bit of a disagreement that may turn into something. Everybody involved in this one. I don't know who this starts out as, but Brandon Paddock came over to try and end it. Condotta, I think, is in the mix here, and I don't know. Davidson was originally there along the wall, wearing a cage and trying to start things. And he'll go to the box, but I don't know if that's just him or what might occur here. Yeah, no, it's going to be Dakota Mermis as well for his second trip to the box. So roughing going to be handed out here to the both of them. I don't know if any extra will be handed out. That video does not help one bit. I got to tell you, a guy wearing a cage starts things. I mean, I know the emotions run high, but it's not like you're going to drop into a fight with the guy, a bunch of body blows. It's not Rocky 2. We're just going to play 4-on-4. You bet. Luke Haynes in the circle. Kind of tied up there with the veteran Dauphin. Belzile out as well. These two both in the top 10 in scoring in the American Hockey League. Dauphin leads the league. Heavy on the assists. Here's Engstrom with a shot. High clattering into the glass as they keep it in. Dauphin moving it back for Engstrom. Challenged by Bo Groot. Working it back to the wall. Haynes backs off. They knock it outside the line. Good work by Grew. Defensively sound. And it is taken away by Haynes. He steps across the line and is submarined. And Marlies put 4 new folks back out onto the ice. Lifted across the line. Shaw on the misplay, picks it up and works himself back across the blue line. Handles it over to Chadwick, back over for Torberg, and that one just a hair off the mark there as Torberg couldn't get that shot away the way he wanted. Now here's Rafai stepping back across the line, leaves it back for Torberg, plays it off to the boards. It is punched back out into center, and Torberg gives that back over to Villeneuve. Grabbed up by Rafai. Got some folks in attendance today enjoying the game. Nylander, couple of steps here, lets one go, and that one is cut down by Kakkonen. Shots 10-9 favoring Laval with 4:28 left to go in the second period. Can't remember a time we had this few shots this late in a game. We'll be back.
C'est pas compliqué, Alexis. Il va y avoir des énoncés à l'écran. Il y aura l'autre candidate qui est avec Maya présentement. Tu devras répondre aux énoncés avec un red flag ou un green flag. On connaît ça quand même. Alors, Alexis, t'es prêt?
Je suis prêt.
Alexis, allons voir à l'écran notre prétendante. Oh, OK. On va partager les écrans maintenant. Et on commence avec le premier énoncé. Il ou elle utilise beaucoup d'émojis. Est-ce que c'est un green flag ou un red flag, ça, quand tu textes avec beaucoup d'émojis? C'est un green flag ici de mon côté, là. Oh! Oh! OK. C'est difficile, c'est pas bon, ça. OK, deuxième énoncé. Maya.
OK, je suis avec la candidate. Ils font jamais le premier move. La personne fait jamais le premier move. Ça passe ou ça casse? OK, on s'entend là-dessus. C'est bon, ça passe, ça casse.
OK, Maya, on continue. Il ou elle veut toujours séparer le dessert. La générosité, c'est bon, ça? Green flag, red flag? Oh! Maya?
Yes, OK. La personne rit à tes blagues. Ça passe ou ça casse? Ben oui, ça passe, OK. Il y a quand même plusieurs énoncés qui ont été répondus de la même manière. Vincent, on va aller te rejoindre dans la section 103 pour récupérer le prix. Un 100$ chez Gâteau Mato et une paire de billets pour le 25 février prochain. Ça sent la date. Gaëtan, on s'en va voir notre candidat.
Venez-vous-en, let's go!
I'm not sure I know what happened there, but I think they just set those people up on a date. What an afternoon. What a Valentine's Day hockey game, blind date. Your Saturday going to get any better than that? I don't know. Rocket. 4:23 left to go as it is dipped back over for Beck, and it's knocked down out front. Akimov got his stick on it, and then moved it back out. Here's Quillen racing back, trying to feed it back for Rafai. Drives in close, and Nylander couldn't get a shot away. Comes cross ice, however, finding Villeneuve, who put it on goal. And Trudeau takes some exception that Quillen was searching for the loose puck. Oh, there it is. There they are. They're going to go out on a date. Nice fuzzy. That guy. He's got a fuzzy jacket on. That's worth meeting people with fuzzy jackets. I mean, it says a lot about you, the fuzzy jacket people, I think. They look like people who are looking for hugs. 4 minutes to go. The Fuzzy Jacket Brigade. Hames trying to kick that loose. It is lifted out into center. Finds its way to Henry Thrun, the sure stick. And down it goes for Klurman. Hames cuts it off and then tries to drag that one back out front. He is thrown to the ice unceremoniously. And the Marlies will go to a power play. 3:43 left to go as Hames creates this. Klurman will sit down. Holding. Yeah, that'll do it. You get your hands separated, then you throw somebody to the ice. It's usually some indication that things have gone wrong. They set things up here on the PK. %, PK for the Rocket. Shaw trying to knock it just a little further down into danger territory. Comes back, Thrun. Works it back onto his forehand, then drops it off with Turberg. Shaw down into the corner. Bisson comes back after it. Along the near side it comes, but Thrun is able to keep it in. Back over it for Bo Grew. Down at the side of the goal for Quillen. Getting it back to Grew again. Looks in, doesn't see an opportunity to shoot. Gets it back, cross ice. Shaw will pick it up off the wall and then move it back over for Thrun. And on the near side, Turberg was there to pick it up. He comes back up high to Shaw. Good movement of the puck and a lot of movement of the defenders. That's what you're looking for. Shaw tries to send it down to Grew, but it is right back down the ice. Grew will pick it up, lead it back in for Hames, and offside. And a lot of complaints there from the Marlies bench. But I got to tell you, wow, you really like to look at that again, but you're not going to get an opportunity. Not in control of the video. 2:39. Oh, but if I was. Ballas. Hames wins that one back. Villeneuve moves that one along and now works his way slowly to the blue line. Hames with a little bit of speed. Villeneuve fills in behind him and across the line right on goal. And it is nifty. Played all the way down the ice there by Kakkonen. Confident play by the veteran netminder. Here's Villeneuve again, and he moves it along for Chadwick. Feeding it back in, step to it. Ballas knocked down on the play, and the puck hops by Villeneuve. He'll race back to it and send it into center. Onto Hames' stick, and over the blue line it comes. Shot, and it's off side of the goal. Dauphin gets a stick on it and plays it all the way back the other direction. Now that'll do it for the power play opportunity. Villeneuve, a little trouble with it. Shot in the back of the net. Dauphin from Waugh. Villeneuve just had that one hop away from him. Waugh took the chance to steal it away, and Dauphin with his third goal in this series in the 4 games. He's got 6 points, and he ties it up at 1 apiece. Takes away Akhtiamov shutout. Just 11 shots each in this game. Rafai. Mishar sends it down deep. Trying to feed it back out front. This one along to the near side. Farrell kicked away. Back over for Reinbacher, and he sends it high into the glass. Back up to the blue line. Challenging, and that got through Akhtiamov, but came out the other side. Out front, rolling right down on the goaltender. And now Rafai, a little bit of back and forth, and everybody gets into a clinch with 1:05 left to go here in period number 2. Late period goal, number 15 for Laurent Dauphin. At 18:21 to be exact. 54 points on the year. 45 games played. As I say, 54 this year, 56 last year. Career year here for him. Off the glass and back down the ice. Bisson's taken away, and a great chance by Torberg as he got in close, stripped the puck, and put it right on goal. Kakkonen had to make a great save, and he did. Great play. Barbolini following it up right in a great spot, but Kakkonen gave him nothing to work with. So last year, Dauphin with 56 points in 63 games. This year with 54. 100 points over the last 2 years. And his 331 points. 110 points rather. 110 points he's got now in the last 2 years. 331 in his career. Long to the near side. This one comes back up. Long shot by Klerman. And the net comes crashing down. That thing is heavy. And I'll tell you that much. You don't want to be trapped underneath it. Well, not, I mean, you could be trapped right underneath it. The net is not the tough part. .6 seconds left to go. Offensive zone faceoff. That puts out their top line. Pascal Vincent. They like the work he's doing here, the Montreal organization. They have to. Winning some games. Back up the blue line it comes, Bisson. And work it back down the boards. Belzile turns around, and it is played back up through the middle. Quillen hands it off to Barbolini. Cross ice! Quillen just hops hot off his stick. Back out of the corner, Barbolini trying to work with it. 15 seconds left to go. Comes to the side of the goal. Barbolini centering it, and it is cut off by Farrell. And now he works back the other direction. Less than 10 seconds to go as Henry Thrun picks it up. Places it back up along the near side, and that'll do it for 40 minutes of play. Well, you thought this one might break into a little bit of rough stuff, but it did not. And it seems unlikely that that might enter the equation in the third period, as the Marlies not in a situation to fool around with points here. They need to pick them up, and the Laval Rocket are up on top of this division, but it would only take a little bit of a run from a couple other teams to reel them back in. They have been on fire lately, and you don't stay on fire necessarily. Well, the Grand Rapids Griffins would tell you different, so would the Providence Bruins, but usually you come back down to earth somewhere in the rest of your season. Rocket cannot afford to do that, especially with the contention of points in the North Division. And we'll get to that in the third period when we return. Less than 18 minutes from now, the Toronto Marlies tied up at 1 after 40 minutes of play with the Rocket de Laval.
On va maintenant jouer au jeu Trouvez votre coup de cœur. Nissan, c'est une chaise musicale avec 5 participants et ils devront trouver leur kicks, ce qui veut dire la dernière chaise vacante pour avoir un vainqueur. Les amis, on se place. Une bonne chaise musicale traditionnelle. On commence avec 4 chaises pour 5 participants et dès que c'est placé, on part ça. Alors... j'ai hâte de voir. Et d'ailleurs, mention spéciale à Nissan qui ont offert des chandails du Rocket à tous nos participants. On va se placer sur le tapis, les amis. Et le DJ va partir la musique dès que vous êtes placés. Et on part ça. Pas de blessure, s'il vous plaît, là. Merci. Oh! Aïe, aïe, aïe! Premier participant éliminé. C'est correct, on enlève une chaise et on poursuit. Et la musique, c'est parti, DJ! Oh! Oh! Aïe, aïe, aïe! Il nous reste maintenant 3 participants, 2 chaises. Les amis, c'est parti! Oh, 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 oh! On n'a pas le droit de s'arrêter avant! Aïe! Oh, collision! Collision! Qui donnera sa place? Et finalement, c'est toi qui quittes? Ben oui, vas-y, vas-y! Bravo, oh, c'est un beau geste, ça. Dernière chaise, c'est la Kicks. Qui va trouver son Kicks? Voyons voir. Oh! Oh, qui va remporter? Qui a trouvé? Oh! Félicitations! Merci les participants et félicitations à toi. Tu remportes une paire de billets du Rocket ainsi que cette merveilleuse veste gracieuseté de Nissan, un Varsity Jacket. Merci les participants. Tout le monde part avec une paire de billets en plus. On est généreux. C'était trouver votre kicks avec Nissan. Merci les amis. Et on vous rappelle que vous pouvez scanner le code QR grâce à Nissan. Vous courez la chance de remporter une paire de billets et une veste comme celle que vous venez de voir à l'écran. Une belle veste Varsity. Bonne chance à tous!
Salut à tous les partisans du Rocket de Laval, ici Tony Marinaro à SIC Media. On est fiers d'être partenaires pour les matchs du Rocket de Laval, tous les matchs à la maison avec Cédric Blondin à la description et Vincent Dumy à l'analyse. Donc, vous pouvez nous écouter, vous pouvez regarder le SIC Podcast avec moi en français à 10h le matin du lundi au vendredi et à 10h le soir du lundi au vendredi soir. Je suis Marinaro, Go Rocket!
Votre maison est plus connectée que vous le croyez? Vous voulez transformer votre maison en beau petit café branché? Vous voulez impressionner votre amateur de sport préféré? Ça vous prend vraiment le Wi-Fi capable d'en prendre. Passez au Wi-Fi 7 avec l'Internet le plus rapide au pays, Belle Pure Fibre.
Cette saison, votre calendrier hockey va être bien rempli. RDS domine la patinoire avec la plus grande offre hockey au Québec. La classe, c'est notre territoire. RDS, l'offensive hockey au Québec. L'appli Mise au jeu plus, fait pour les fans, par des fans. Avec des paris locaux qui font vibrer le Québec. Peu importe ton sport et peu importe ton équipe, tout se joue ici.
Soyez prudents sur la route aujourd'hui. Grosse tempête très tendue sur une bonne partie de la province.
Maîtrisez toutes les conditions à bord du Nissan Kicks.
Out in front, shot, score! Shot save! Oh my goodness! What a save! Shoots and he scores! Line shot, score!
Luke Combs présente la tournée My Kind of Saturday Night. Le 30 mai complet. Nouvelle date ajoutée le 29 mai. Avec invités spéciaux. Bien en vente sur lukecombs.com.
On m'a toujours dit que le hockey, c'est mieux quand t'es sur place. La première fois que je suis rentrée dans l'aréna du Roquette, j'ai tout de suite compris pourquoi. Dès qu'on arrive à la place Belle, tout change. L'énergie, la foule, les joueurs. Mais le plus cool, c'est quand je me retourne et que je vois ma famille vivre tout ça avec moi. C'est là que je me dis, ouais, le hockey, c'est vraiment mieux quand on est là pour de vrai.
Chers partisans, nous vous demandons de bien vouloir respecter les règles suivantes pour que tous puissent pleinement apprécier le match. Fans, please respect the following rules so we can all enjoy the game. La rondelle peut quitter la surface de jeu à tout moment. Demeurez vigilants. Pucks can leave the playing surface at any time. Stay alert. Nous vous demandons de ne pas changer de siège même si certains semblent inoccupés. Veuillez demeurer au siège indiqué sur votre billet. We ask you not to change seats or move to an open seat. Please remain at the seat indicated on your ticket. Nous vous demandons d'utiliser un langage respectueux en tout temps envers le personnel et les autres partisans. We ask that you please use respectful language when speaking with other fans and Place Belle staff. Si vous avez besoin d'aide, contactez un membre du service à la clientèle. If you need any help, please contact any of our client service staff. Enjoy the game. Bon match!
In fact, here's just another ordinary day.
me do. Oh, love me do. Someone to love, somebody new. Someone to love, someone like you. Love, love me do. You know I love you. I'll always be true. So please, love me do. Everyone falls in love sometimes.
You better know, you better know.
I don't know about you, but it ain't a crime.
It's not a crime, it's not a crime.
Everyone falls in love sometimes.
Remember that girl.
I don't know about you, but it ain't a crime.
Hold on, hey. Question I ask. Tell me what you wanna, what you really, really wanna do. Tell me, baby girl, if your love is really, really true. Tell me what you wanna, what you really, really wanna do. Tell me, baby girl, hey, I know I'm like no. Yo, yo, if you really love me, let it flow, flow. And if you don't love me, let me go, go. What in the road, boy, I let you know that.
Everyone falls in love sometimes. I don't know about you, but
That's more like it. The whole group of them came out together. I'm not sure what it says necessarily about the group, but there's unity here. I'm not sure. Or just that somebody had to wait for the door to open. The door opened, and away they went. John Gruden, Mark Giordano, Michael Dick, Will Burns, Jordan Obi, Nick Hornby, Bree Donaldson, all over on the bench for the Marlies. You have to cross the ice to get over there. It's not rare, but it's not usual. Lots of times you can just kind of guide yourself along the edge of the ice like they do at the Coliseum, the visiting team. I've often wondered why they don't just set up a thing there, but they don't want the visiting team to come down the Marlies tunnel at all, and understandably so. So you got to walk along the little from out of the Zamboni corner and walk over to the bench in case you've never seen that. Well, here you got to walk across the ice, and I always like that little coach's shuffle walk. I find that kind of interesting. Well, a late goal in the second period brought the score to even at 1 apiece. There has not been a lot of grade A opportunities necessarily been given by both sides. Luke Ames with his 8th in the first, and Laurent Dauphin with his 15th. As I say, he's had a great couple of years, Laurent Dauphin, and now he finds himself so many points. Really, he had a great year with the Tucson Roadrunners prior to that as well, but he was a -1. That speaks to your team, I guess, more than anything else. But this year, he's a +25. Last year, +25, +24 this year. And that has vaulted him into the positive side of the territory. Of course, he was with Laval prior to that, and with Montreal and whatnot, but he has his previous best years prior to that 3 years ago with Tucson, where he had 48 games, 41 points, was 28 points. So now he's up with 63 games last year, 56 points, and 45 games this year and 54 points. So leading the league as well. We're almost ready to go here. 49 seconds left. Shots 14-12 favoring the Rocket. The interesting part about that is Dauphin and Joshua Waugh have 9 of them. 5 and 4. Waugh with 5, Dauphin with 4. So most of the offensive opportunities coming off the sticks of 2 players. Saw a weird thing driving from the airport to here. It seemed weird. It wasn't. It looked like there was a cemetery for sale. I couldn't barely believe it. cemetery. Who buys a full cemetery? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. It turned out that the property next door was for sale, but still. The third period underway here in Laval as Grew tried to tip it back across the line. It does not do what it's told, and Jackai plays it down below the goal line. Comes out the other side. Condota up to Del Gaizo. Jackai will try and get it back and tip it out front for Sammy Blais. Up to the blue line it comes, down toward the goal, high into the glass it rolls. Last year, Actiamoff 1-1-1 against Laval. Long shot there, he hangs on to that one. And has not played them this year. Marlies are 1-1-1 against Laval this year. The last game, they came back from a 2-0 deficit, tied it up. Noah Chadwick got that one. And then into overtime they went when Laurent Dauphin scored. A contentious little play if you look back at it, but nonetheless, it is hockey. Shot there, comes to the wall. Pizzetta trying to pick it up, plays it down. Rafai, that one came awkwardly off the official. It is gathered in by the Marlies, and Pizzetta moves it down into the corner for Jacob Quillen to go after it. He bangs into some bodies and trying to move it back off the wall. Oriovalis looks like he's playing without the bubble on now. Started the game with it, now he's just wearing a visor. Up the right side they come. Knocked away. Rafai trying to kick it back along and up the near side. It comes to the blue line. Bisson plays it back in. Behind the goal, out the other side, and then high to the line. Klurman looks down toward the goal. Instead comes into the corner. Challenged there by Rafai. Cross ice out front. Backhander too high. And Rafai throws it back out across the blue line. Allows the Marlies to get in a change here as Dakota Murmas rounds on it. Plays it ahead. I think that one got kind of caught up there at the door, but nonetheless, play on. Rafai. Hames springs a chance here for Barbolini, and he brings it back to his forehand, and he just sent it a touch wide. Engstrom right back through the middle. Feeding it along, scores! Owen Beck. And early in the third period, the Marlies lose the lead for the first time in the hockey game. Nice shot there from Beck as he puts it over the shoulder of Actiamoff. And now the Marlies playing from behind for the first time. Interesting that the Marlies don't often find themselves tied going into the third period. Only 3 times this season, and they have not won a game in that situation. Down below the goal line it comes, and it's going to come all the way back. But Laval has now found themselves tied after 2 17 times this season, and are 9-6-1-1 in that situation. It's quite a discrepancy between the two. 3 times for the Marlies, 17 for Laval. Comfortable tied up after 40 minutes of play and are able to win their fair share. Just a touch over 500, kind of. If you count those as losses, they still picked up a point, but a couple of those. Shaw on the backhand, sends it down deep. Grew, bit of a spinner, chasing it. Nylander Grew comes away with it, moves it back up for Noah Chadwick. Gives it back to Grew. Tries to cut back down the wall. It's tapped away and down the ice it goes. Delgaizo doing the work there for the Rocket. Long pass. Cross ice. Grew's going to have to chase that down. Trudeau right back to it. Comes back up along the near side. Rafai had to carry it back out. And Nylander fires it in. Marlies trying to make a change here as Kakkonen plays that, and Trudeau lifts it back out into center. One thing we have seen this Rocket club do over the course of this season is they do well protecting the lead. Baddock comes back for it, and well, I got to tell you, he had the step there, and he can't believe that the whistle went on the play, and he really did have the step. Going to come all the way back. Baddock arguing it up with the referee, but that's not going to produce the result he's looking for. And we'll carry on. I tell you, I would have almost written this out prior to that this would have been a rougher affair than it has been. Comes back up to the blue line. We saw him, plays it along, tipped out front, turnaround shot goes wide. Reese Johnson. And that'll come back on the icing call. That indeed really was. They bring it back. Marlies. Lots to, you know, when you talk about what you have to do down the stretch, it's always about how many points you have to get and where you got to get to. Not necessarily about what other teams are doing. You just look back at the years previous and the numbers that you have to get to, and then you know the work you have to accomplish down the stretch. Puck finds its way to Mermis. 26 games remaining after this one for Toronto. Johnstone. Tipped along. Crossover for Reese Johnson down the right side. He's got Johnstone going to the goal. Tried to get a stick on it there. Dauphin crossed the line, drops it back for Belzile, and now Vallis tried to sweep it back out. A little confusion and delay as the puck works itself back to Dauphin. He takes a bit of a shot and it pops its way to Jacob Quillen. He'll toss it down low. Pizzetta with Vallis, scraping it along with some strength, trying to pound it back up to the blue line. Dauphin down the left side and defended nicely by Chadwick. Just gets the stick calmly out there against the league's top scorer and knocks it away. Vallis down the right side, leads it into the corner. Quillen trying to come back to it. Michar plays it along for Delgaizo, who lifts it out across the blue line. Step around here for Beck. Goes low on the pads, and Aksiemov comes up with the save. Now turn it back off the boards. Picked up there. Chadwick trying to force his way back up the wall. Into the corner. Waugh to the far side. Engstrom high to the blue line. A lot of space to work with here out front, and a miss by Beck. Quillen plays it back in. The Rocket doing a pretty good job of just hanging on to the puck and chewing up time. Getting options when they see them, they take them. But otherwise, not taking too many chances. Just with a 1-goal lead. 6 minutes has expired and a little bit of change as well here in the third period. Ames working to it on the left side. Villeneuve, Torberg takes a shot from Bisson that knocks him down. And now works back as Villeneuve. Torberg, round behind the goal it comes. Up high to the blue line, launched down toward the goal. Arsenault plays it along. Trying to get it back, Villeneuve. Thorberg pops off of his stick. And down below the goal line it comes again. Murmis trying to step back to it. Arsenault wanted to force that back out front. Didn't go. Back it comes high to the blue line at the point. Bisson, the shot comes off of Thorberg's skates. Along the near side. Launched down toward the goal. It drops in front and Villeneuve gets it up and it does come out. Thorpe carries it back in and then runs into Murmis. And Arsenault comes over to have a word. Ridiculous. Those are the ones I always question. It's like you don't need somebody else to come in and say whatever they're going to say to you in this situation. Like Thorpe is a big boy. He can look after himself. He tried to come across the line. He got stopped cold and now he's upset about it. And has more to say. He didn't need Arsenault to come over and fight the battle for him. We'll be back.
Félicitations à Julie Carrière qui gagne le jeu. Le lancer du cœur. Reste à ton siège. Un représentant du Rocket sera avec toi sous peu. Il vient t'amener ton jersey signé par toute l'équipe du Rocket. Bravo!
Et c'est l'heure de la Kickscam présentée par Nissan. Là, on veut vous voir à bord du Nissan Kicks. On veut voir sur qui vous avez un petit kick. C'est la Saint-Valentin. On veut vous voir vous embrasser. On se parcourt dans la foule. Let's go, c'est parti! On veut vous voir vous embrasser. Let's go, c'est la Saint-Valentin!
Depuis qu'on a lâché prise, on voit de la couleur.
Ah, c'est beau l'amour. Bravo! On les applaudit!
Well, the Rocket have almost exclusively gone with Jacob Fowler since January 24th. And they have just put up win after win after win. 6 in a row, 7 of the last 8. They picked up a win, and Kakkonen in his last game that he played lost in overtime at Abbotsford. As the Rocket had gone out there. Now the crowd wanted the folks who were on a new date show some affection. Didn't get it. Shaw trying to track this one down. Here's Del Gaizo. Moving it down for Blais as he sends it in. Akiyemov comes back up with the blue line. Is not kept in. Shaw trying to track it down. Rafai comes back to it. Up the right side. Grew over the blue line. He sees a route and drops it off. This one pops up and out of the zone. Rafai playing with Blake Smith. Smith looks up ice, trying to make a connection there. I think it did not get by. And now Sammy Blais and Blake Smith have a disagreement about when the timing of hits are allowed to connect. They're going to have to come all the way back, though, as Blais will go off and they will put on the top line. You know, oftentimes you talk about a guy who's having a great season, and then Belzile, who's also having a terrific season. He's in the top 10 in scoring. These two are on a line together. Sean Farrell with them currently. So a couple of guys just having a terrific season together. And very little in the way of a chance of them finding their way into the Canadiens lineup, so it seems. Here's Trudeau. Fluttering, drops in front. Chadwick able to get back, and now Thrun chops at it to get it back up along the near side. Sliding that one out front. It hops over Reinbacher's stick and comes back out. Reeled in, and Johnstone played down deep. Kakkonen out of his net to play this one. We're getting some good goaltending. That makes one heck of a difference. Then you can freewheel a little bit up front and do some things that are a little more creative and a little more risky just because you got a guy back between the pipes like Fowler is. He's having a heck of a rookie season out of Boston College. Back across the line they come, feeding it along. Up and right back out. And Klerman hard off the windows and back in. They'll do this for the remaining less than 11 minutes. Let's kick it along the boards and take their chances when they present themselves. Beck currently with the goal that has put the Rocket ahead here in the third period. This one off the toes of Aktiema. Bisson round behind. The Marlies trying to defend here and chasing just a little bit in this third period. And currently, back up high it comes. Beck mishandles it at the line, and they're going to make some changes, no doubt. Mishar carries this one, challenged by Reese Johnson. Mishar, Quillen trying to get a step to it. We're halfway into this third period. Waugh with a couple of assists today and on the game tying goal and the go-ahead goal. Trying to find a little help, a little shot along the boards. Jacob Quillen knocked Arsenault down, and he is back up. And it is hard to believe that Arsenault needs anybody to defend himself. And now Arsenault and Pizzetta. A little bit of back and forth. Here goes the gloves. Thorpe and Smith. Some size in this one. And a couple of overhand rights. And Thorpe is just getting fed here. Tries to get one back, and down goes Thorpe. Boy, Blake Smith didn't waste any time tossing him there. And he's trying to get his crew fired up. Needed it, actually. It was starting to look a little bit like they were sitting back and satisfied with the result. Well, there's a whole bunch of bodies in and out of the penalty box here. I don't know who's supposed to be in there and who's not supposed to be in there. Well, I think it's just going to... Oh, there goes Dakota Mermis as well. No, just congratulations. Well, we'll see if this one drives a little energy into this hockey game. Marlies down by 1 here to Laval in the third period.
133 bonbons. Tu remportes une paire de billets pour un match du Rocket, ainsi que des items signés par les joueurs du Rocket. Reste à ton siège, un représentant sera avec toi. Super, bravo!
All right.
We're still going to roll 5-on-5 here. It looked like they were going to put a pile of people in a penalty box, and then they decided against all that. So it's just Blake Smith, Thorpe in there as well. That puck all the way back down the ice. Kakinen hands this one over. Pizzetta out front. Del Gaizo works this one up the left side and in. Henry Thrun goes back after it. Thrun squeezed off of it. Vallis comes in for support. To the near side it comes. Del Gaizo picks it up there. Pushes it down into the corner. They let it go. Thrun escapes from his man and then lifts it back out into center and beyond. It is picked up by Quillen. Tries to force it through Del Gaizo. Puck comes loose and Del Gaizo picks it up and then pushes it back out through center. Thrun gets behind his own goal. Waits on this one. See if the energy has jumped into the Marlies sticks. That one lifted up and into the bench area, and so the faceoff will come back outside. Well, back to the Scotiabank Arena for the Family Day game. Storberg comes at it. They got a new CBA worked out as well. So the folks here, the Professional Hockey Players Association, the PHPA, doing some good work with the league to make sure that this one, they keep playing hockey. They keep making sure that everybody is going in the right direction. Everybody sees some benefits. Quick back out, Hames out front. He was looking for Barbolini. Dauphin over the line, gathered in by Rafai as they play it back out. Turberg hands it over to Hames, steps across the blue line, tries to whip one at the goal, and Turberg gets a stick on it, but it comes up along the near side. Dauphin has to play it back behind the goal for Trudeau. Dauphin trying to make some decisions. Thrun coming back after it. Up along the near side for Logan Shaw. Hard pass cross ice. Nylander plays it down deep. On the near side corner, this one hops up along the wall and comes back along onto the backhand. Reaching back for this one was Shekai. It is tossed back in deep. Quick up and out of the zone. Marlies trying to work back off the 1-goal deficit here, down 2-1. 7 minutes left to go in period number 3. Saucers back into the corner. Xhekaj. Far side and stepping back out front, scores! Georgetown's Lucas Condotta makes it 3-1 with 6:43 remaining. This has not been the third period that they would want to hang their hat on, I would think. Not just because of the 2 goals, but just the intensity level. They know they have more than that, and they also know, as I said at the top of the program, this is a game where the Marlies wanted to find out a little bit. Now they're missing some bodies, to be sure, but that is never something you rely upon. Everybody here wants to be a part of it. You want to get out on the ice, you want to get games, you want to play your best. And now a long pass ahead. Need to get it all back in one pass. Maddock chasing that one down. It pops back up and right back in. They'll round back on this one with 6 minutes left to go. Now searching for a couple of goals against a team that is a little stingy in that department. shot there, actually knocked down. Lifted in, down the right side, backing in, turnaround shot! Wow, he likes that move. Tough part is the goaltender tracks you. They don't necessarily track the puck. Out front from Quillen, and it slides by Pizzetta. Waugh plays it back out, and Rafai comes back to it. Some urgency now in the skates of the Marlies. Back down low, Dauphin trying to get after it there. Murmas does a good job of moving it along to Rafai. The crowd here, one, it's a full building. And lifted back along for Turberg. They come back across the line, but it's offside, well offside. With less than 5 minutes to go here, the Marlies searching for a couple of goals, as I say, against a team that is pretty stingy. They got good goaltending and a commitment to team defense. We'll be back.
Suivre toute l'action, abonnez-vous à FloHockey. Tous les détails sur le site web du Rocket. On sera de retour à la maison le mercredi 25 février pour un autre duel contre les Marlies de Toronto. On vous invite à être de la partie pour vivre cette rivalité. Plusieurs joueurs du Rocket poseront ce geste symbolique en se rasant la tête. Oui, le 18 février prochain. Les partisans, vous aurez également la chance de le faire le 25 février au match de la Place Belle. Vous pourrez le faire dans les coursives. Et si jamais vous ne voulez pas vous raser la tête, bien, scannez le code QR. Vous pouvez participer en faisant un don. Et la semaine suivante, le Rocket disputera 3 matchs à la Place Belle. Soyez là avec nous le 4, 6 et 7 mars prochain. Et finalement, Espace Montmorency vous invite à passer l'après-match dans l'un de ses 20 restaurants situés à 2 pas de la Place Belle. Venez conclure votre soirée de la meilleure façon. Merci beaucoup. Bonne fin de match. Go Rocket!
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there. Older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong.
The Laval Rocket have only given up 126 goals against in 48 games. They've got 64 points, sitting atop the North Division. They are a plus 36 in goal differential. I rely heavily on that to tell me a lot of the story of how a team is doing. Syracuse Crunch in second spot, 56 points. They've got a couple of games in hand. Cross sights. This one comes back. Turberg scores! They draw within one. Ryan Turberg, as they break back in across the line. And Turberg comes in along with the play here, and now they're having a little discussion there at the, they were just having a little discussion there for a brief moment about something. It looked like they were going to call something back, but they did not. Now Murmas will track this one down. And maybe that throws a little juice in the boots for Toronto. Back in for Vallis, knocked right back out. Cross ice and up along for Nylander. Works his way across the line, and then Vallis picks it up, throws it out front. It is knocked back at the line and out. Turberg's 6th goal of the season. Murmas and Bo Groove going to get the assists on that one. 6th goal of the season for Turberg. Dakota Murmas' 2nd assist in just 7 games. And then Bo Grew with 19. And now a big collision. There's Torberg involved in that one. And then the stick knocked away from him, and out front it comes as Villeneuve comes back on it. He's trying to work his way back to it. Knocked away. Quillen. Torberg back in the corner. He's still out there. He's having a shift here. And that puck works its way loose. Trying to chase it down is Henry Thrun. Thrun will get back to it. Torberg picks it up again. Grew plays it down low. Torberg comes back to it. Far side. Shaw will race to it. Move it back to Mermis. Get along to Rafai. Torberg's got to come back on this one. Gets it back to Rafai and through the middle. Barbolini's got to reach back with some strength. Less than 3 minutes now. Tipped by Shaw, indeed it was. And it's played by Kakinen up along the near boards. Pizzetta trying to get back to it. Barbolini a little chop. Pizzetta could not quite get that loose, and down deep for Hames. Rafai tracks it down. He and Mermis caught up behind the goal. Coming in to help out Barbolini. It pops loose, and Barbolini eases it along to Pizzetta. And now getting it back on the backhand. Barbolini getting down to the end boards and getting after it. Trying to wrap it around was Hames. Looking for his second of the hockey game to try and tie it up here. Villeneuve right back into the corner. Up high it comes and right back out into center ice. 2 minutes left to play here. That puck knocked down by Dauphin. He waits, drawing deep into the corner. Out front it comes, but it's Nylander who picks it up from here. Alex Nylander down the left side. Help filling in behind him. There goes Akhtiamov. Extra attacker on for Toronto. Grew back up high and back down the ice it goes. Grew crossed the line. He's knocked down. Chadwick trying to pick it up. It's grabbed up by Thrun. He waits on it here as they got some new folks ready to step back out onto the ice. Nylander off the glass. And it is cleared down the ice and scores. 4-2 with a minute 2 left to go in the third period. Joshua Waugh. Boy, he picked this up deep in the corner, just turned around and let it fly. Finds its way into the goal, and that puts this one in a solid spot. For the Laval Rocket, looking for win number 31 and their second of the weekend after a 6-1 final yesterday. This one comes back across the line. Farrell, side of the goal. Back out of the corner. This one high off the glass and to the far side. Trying to get a hold of this puck here to see if they can get Akhtiamov back out of the game, and it'll find its way on the Johnson stick, cross ice. Johnstone trying to pick it up through the middle. Baddock cross the line, and Johnson going to the goal, trying to feed it along to him. They do not take Akhtiamov out of this hockey game with the 2-goal deficit. They decide instead to leave him in, and it is backhanded down the ice. They'll grab it up. Less than 10 seconds to go. Waugh will pick it up, and the crowd will rise to their feet here at Place Bell as the Rocket hang on to win. A tough 3-goal period that the Marlies had against them in the third. Beck, Condotta, and Joshua Waugh with the empty netter. Capo Kakinen ends up with the assist on that one for a goalie point. And Ryan Turberg from Dakota Murmas and Bo Grew looked like they had got some energy on top of it, but were unable to complete the full comeback. And a 4-2 final with the empty net goal as the Laval Rocket improve to 31-14, 2-2, and the Marlies fall to 25-16, 4-3. They'll remain at 53 points, and Laval will move up to 66 points. That's 7 in a row for Laval, as they are on a heater, as they say. And all the 3 stars will fall Laval's way, so I think we can safely sign off here. They outshot the Marlies 24-16, including 10-4 in that third when they seemed to take over more than just anything, the energy of the hockey game. Toronto 0-2 on the power play. Laval 0-2 on the power play as well. 3-goal third period, but it started out with Luke Hames to start things out. And look, the Marlies were going in the right direction with a minute 15 in. His 8th from Barbolini, who collects his 11th assist. Dauphin answered back late in the second, and then 3 straight goals from the Rocket would end the Marlies. Beck, Condotta, and then Ryan Turberg got one back, his 6th from Murmas and Bo Grew. Joshua Waugh with the empty netter, and that is how this game ends. We'll join together on Monday afternoon, Family Day, 2 o'clock from Scotiabank Arena. I'm Todd Crocker. Thanks for tuning in to Toronto Marlies Hockey.